What is up? What is up? Welcome to the Let's Get Ready Network. We are talking about the latest episode of The Last of Us, a series we've been covering. We also was covering the Andor. If you want to go back and watch some of those reviews and see what we thought about that series, overwhelmingly pretty positive about that series. And right now we're talking about The Last of Us. So, Matt, thank you for joining me. And what did you think about this episode, just in general?
Honestly, I mean, it was a good episode, but it was just too late in the series for me to like care really. Like,
Mhm.
this would have been way better done after he died, like an episode or two after, before they went out to take revenge. So you saw what she was trying to get revenge for, you know what I mean? But yeah, I don't know. It just seemed way out of place to me to do this late in the season when all this other stuff's happening in Seattle, and that's what we're getting to.
Yeah, I mean, I could kind of agree with the maybe like I don't know if I'd want this the very next episode after episode two, but maybe like the episode after that could have been a good deal to do. I actually kind of agree with that, just because yeah, this gives you some stuff or whatever about the background and everything. You basically have a flashback episode, uh, not really anything. Now you got to see things from like Joel's perspective in a couple of cases, which I thought was really cool, and I thought what they did uh, was done pretty well. You know what I'm saying? I just don't care for the spot that they put this in. And a lot of people, I think, gave up on the show after Joel's death. They may have gave like the next episode a chance, but some people dropped off. And putting this that late, if you'd have put it a little bit earlier, you may have could have drawn some of those people that left in, but they didn't seem to want to do that for some reason. And yeah, that's what we got.
Hmm.
But yeah, I agree with your sentiment on that and everything else. But like I said, I thought the episode was done pretty well. I thought the stuff with Joel and Ellie was pretty good. This goes to prove a little bit of a point that, like, hey, man, it is what it is. But, uh, Bella Ramsey, the person that plays Ellie, I don't know if it is a person that can, like, be the prime focus of the show. I just don't know if she can
Yeah.
cut it. And I'm not, like, trying to, like, hate on her or anything like that. It's a tough job. It's a tough situation to be in. But with Joel, like watching this episode, I felt really good about it, and I thought like she did a better job. It's one of those things where you put a good actor next to her, and she can kind of feed off of them, and like I think she does like a better job when it comes to that overall. And everything else is just really tough to have her as like the main character of the actual show. When obviously Joel's not there because they're not going to have flashbacks every week and all that. I mean, what did you feel like? Did you feel like they did like the Joel and Ellie relationship pretty good in this episode? Even though you may not like where it was put at, but like the stuff that you got, was
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was cool that they showed like on her birthdays, like what he did for her, And then they went back to that night at the barn house or whatever for New Year's, and they showed that from his perspective and how they talked after.
mm-hmm.
That was like I said, yeah, that's all cool to see, but like what I want to see what's going on in Seattle. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't thinking at all. Like I wonder what she did with Joel on her birthdays. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, I totally get it because you kind of left on a little bit of a cliffhanger last episode, and then you jump into this flashbacks and everything else. I really enjoyed the museum scene between
Yeah,
Ellie and Joel and stuff like that. Pulling at your heartstrings a little bit because now you know what ends up happening to him. He even says like a phrase during this thing where he's like, um, when you get the the interaction between them after the New Year's Eve, little scuffle and stuff like that, and she's kind of being not kind of, she is being an asshole to him. He goes back and he's playing like the guitar, and she shows up and they talk, and there's like a thing where he basically says like I'm gonna get mine. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
yeah,
almost like he knows that he's gonna end up on the wrong end of the stick on that one. I also thought the story that we got when they went on one of the birthdays and they went together on like a patrol or whatever, and they ended up there's some issues. They go out there, and then the psychiatrist lady that we saw in one of the earlier episodes, she's been in a couple episodes actually. We got to see like actually what happened to her husband and why she's mad at Joel and everything else. I thought the
Yeah.
part that was out there in the scenery, I thought the part out there while they were doing the patrol was done pretty well. Like Joel not wanting to do it, the guy started, honestly started acting a little weird. So Joel did the right thing in this situation. To be honest with you, even though it sucks to have to do the right thing sometimes,
Yeah.
I feel like he did the right thing there. I mean, how'd you like that part? Where they had got bit and then they tried, and she sticks up for him, trying to save his life. He wants to go see his wife and talk to her one last time, and everything else. How'd you like that actual scene?
Yeah, no, that was cool. I don't know if you recognized him, but that was actually Joe Pantaleone, the
Oh,
actor.
nice.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, no, that was cool to see. But right from the get go, I was like, dude, everyone knows once you get bit, you gotta get taken out. You know what I mean? Like pleading with Joel, saying you'll keep it control, and you got an hour and all. How do you know? They don't
Yeah.
know. No one knows.
Each person's going to be different when they're infected. Some people's going to turn faster. Some people's going to take a little bit longer.
Yeah, and
Like
like, what? Why would you take an infected person back to camp? You know what I mean? That makes no sense. Like, so that whole thing, I was like, I would have done the same thing Joel did. I would have shot him right there. I wouldn't even had an argument or anything.
yeah, I
But
probably would have did the same thing if you're stuck in that bad situation. It's like, bro, hey man,
yeah,
I'd walk up and give the guy a hug and be like, hey man, thanks for helping us build the community and stuff like that, and you'll be remembered for helping us out. But it's time for you to go.
yeah, yeah. Because I mean, and then he's got Ellie with him too. Like that's just more shit to worry about taking some dude back to camp with. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
there was nothing else for him to do. But when Ellie turned on him and told the psychiatrist lady, that was a dick move.
Oh
Because
yeah, we talked about this in the Discord. It's one of the one flaws that I see in the show and the character wise is like, so he kills that guy. She sees a look on Joel's face, and she recognizes it as the same time that he probably lied to her about what happened and what went down, if I'm not mistaken, in Seattle, and what have you. So whenever he killed all the people there at that hospital or whatever to save her life and stuff, you know, she comes out, she's mad, she recognizes, oh, he probably lied to me about that too, and he lied here. He said he was going to promise to try to get him wherever, because they got split up for a second. Ellie wasn't with him 100% of the time, so she didn't see the guy starting to act weird or any of that. But yeah, like we talked about this, like I said, like really and truthfully, 100%, that was a stupid move. I get you being
yeah,
pissed off. I get you being mad that you found out that he probably did lie to you about the whole thing when it comes to the hospital and stuff like that. And he lied to her and told her there were more survivors than her and stuff like that. And then when she finds out, oh, I was the only one and they were trying to make a cure out of me, like, why'd you take that away? That could have helped everybody and all that stuff. I get why she's angry, but you had that conversation after you walk, because Joel, you know, kind of leaves out some things, kind of tells the truth, kind of doesn't tell the truth. It's like a mixture uh, to that guy's wife, the psychiatrist. And she's like, crying, obviously, because she's upset because he's dead. And she's like, uh, giving Joel a hug and all this stuff because, like, Joel was basically letting her off easy. Like, hey,
yeah,
he's a hero. He was brave the whole time and all this stuff. And then for Ellie to do what she did, I wasn't mad that she was mad at Joel. I was mad, or I was irritated because, like, okay, Ellie, you're supposed to be like semi maybe good. You haven't really lost it yet. Maybe the story's trying to tell us that she's going down a rabbit hole that's going to cause some big issues in the future or whatever. But her character wise in the story hasn't given us that yet. We get a little bit of that when she's like in Seattle or whatever, and she's like beating up on that girl, but like don't have nothing to do with this flashback scene. She
yeah,
hasn't went through all that yet, and so there's like no excuse for her to be just kind of shitty to that woman, because whenever she says the truth, she knows that's going to hurt that lady.
yeah,
Like, that's going to hurt that lady. It's going to take away from what she thought and what she wanted. Now she's pissed at Joel, whatever. And now she's like extremely upset. At least before then, you know, she could have took what Joel said and had some solace, hey, my husband did what he had to do. He got bit, and then, but he did it bravely. He went out with a bang. He that everything else, like he loved me and all this stuff. And then Ellie, to take that away from that lady uh, at that time was kind of like a shitbag move to do.
Yeah, because Ellie thought he was lying to her to like cover his ass, but
Yeah.
he was lying to her to comfort her. You know what I
Well, yeah,
mean?
exactly. No, and to me, that's like you're trying to have these characters, you're trying to have them be intelligent. You hear what he says, like you know what he's doing. Like you don't have to be. You got to be pretty much stupid as hell to think that he was trying to do something else. Like it wasn't like he was trying to cover his ass. It was plainly to be like, hey, he was brave. Hey, he loved you. Like some of the stuff he said was actually true, right? Like he didn't lie about everything. He just lied about how he got taken out or why
Yeah,
he got taken out. Like he just wanted her to be like, yeah, he was brave.
yeah.
He was brave till the end kind of situation, man.
Because
Makes you feel good.
he even told her that he did it himself too.
Yeah, yeah. Being brave, stood up, said I didn't want to hurt anybody else. He wanted to see you for the last time, but like he knew that he would endanger people and that kind of thing. And like I said, when you give that story to that lady, you're giving her something she can like hang her hat on and be like, hey, he did the right thing. Like my husband's dead, but he was a super brave guy, good memory that she could have or whatever about him. And like I said, Ellie kind of destroyed it. Like I said, if they walked away from the gravesite and Ellie was like, what the fuck? You lied to me. You lied about that just there. What are you doing? What kind of person are you? She wanted to say any of those things like in private, like away from other people, or maybe
Yeah,
even just with Tommy around. Like I'd have been okay if Tommy would have been there during the conversation and everything else. So
yeah. Because it would have been different if Joel like killed him for no reason and then said he got bit and shit like
yeah,
that.
exactly. That's the
And then
problem.
I could see her telling her the truth, you know. But
Like
yeah,
I've always thought that it was okay for the show and the video game story to have Joel get killed. I think that's a really interesting route to go. And I agree with it ultimately that like that can happen. The problem is like how they set it up. Like not really even how they set it up, but like when they do it, it's too early to me. They should have been some more stuff that happened or whatever, and all that. And like that, I think is some of the issue that you have is because of that. Like I'm not like Joel dying to me does not like piss me off in any. Even though a lot of people would have did what he did in that hospital and take away even innocent lives, if you want to say that,
yeah,
like even though you're doing that, like people would still probably do the same thing. Like they'd imagine their kid being on the operating table, or maybe a wife of theirs, or maybe just a really loved family member being on that table. If you had the opportunity and had the skills to do it, your ass would probably try to, take everybody out to save that person.
yeah. Because there was no guarantee they were going to get a fucking
Yeah,
cure out of her. You know what
straight
I
up,
mean?
no
They were just
guarantee.
going to try. And then they needed to cut into her brain. So
Yep. Oh yeah, 100%. Like she was gonna die doing this, and there wasn't 100% chance she was gonna get an actual like vaccine or whatever you want to call it to like stop this whole virus thing from spreading every time you got bit and everything
yeah,
else. But heck yeah, but like I said, I thought the show overall, this episode was pretty solid. I thought it was better than the last couple of episodes. I don't think it had as many problems as the last couple of episodes. And like I said, unfortunately, I think it's because you have a person in place that's now the head of the show. I don't know. I don't think they're strong enough to take the whole show. They're a really good support character or even a co-lead. I think she does fabulous when she has somebody to work with. Like I said, that's really good and experienced. Like Dina, the girl who plays Dina, is like she's younger, right? So she doesn't have as much experience either. So I think that kind of pulls into play here and kind of hurts the show a little bit whenever Joel's not involved. Like I said, Joel came in, we got flashbacks. It was some strong, powerful moments that you could understand their story and their relationship and stuff like that, and how it kind of fell apart uh, towards the end. And then we even got the part where she talks to Joel and they kind of do, reconcile, because she says
yeah,
he's like, I know you won't forgive me or something like that. And then she turns around and says, like, I probably can't forgive you, but I'd like to try.
yeah,
So then it brings back, if you go back to episode 2, when she's walking out there with Jesse and everything, and they're talking and she's kind of being a douchebag. when she does say I'm going to go with Joel and stuff like that, you get to understand that, like, yeah, she was going to give Joel a chance, like, you know what I'm saying, to like uh maybe earn her trust, maybe earn her relationship back the way it was before, even though he lied about something like that.
Yeah. Now that I think about it, this episode probably would have been better if it was the episode before Joel died. You know what I mean? If they would have put it there instead, because
Um,
flashbacks are flashbacks. You know what I mean? Like, especially
yeah,
people that know the game know he was gonna die.
yeah.
So I think that probably would have been a better spot. The episode before he died.
Yeah. I mean, that would have been like, I think that would have been okay. I think I could go along with that. But we do have Ellie at the very end of the episode. She's walking up to the theater. Um, Matt, I don't think you've done anything. You haven't done any video of the video game. You don't know the story at all.
No.
I'm the one that has some knowledge. We have her at the very end of the episode up towards the theater. What do you think is going to happen next episode?
Um, I don't know. I mean, I think she's gonna get her revenge on Abby somehow, but I don't know how. I mean, Dina's got an arrow in the leg that they got to take care of. You know what I mean? Like, there's a
Mhm.
lot of obstacles in the way.
Well, there is a lot of Oscars. There's a lot of things going on. I'm not gonna say anything because I don't want to spoil it for you particularly, because like most of the people that's watching the show, a lot of the people that know this story, they know a lot about it. That'd be watching us like review it or talk about it, but I don't really want to. I'll just tell you this: there's some people that didn't like episode 2 because Joel's gone. There's gonna be some shit hitting the fan next episode.
Yeah.
Shit is gonna hit the fan next episode. Hopefully they do a good job with it. I do think, like, I'm not hating on this season so far. I just didn't I liked right now, but it's unfair because Andor's finished. I think we have like one more episode to go. It's either one or two more episodes, but I think it's only one. Was this episode 5 or 6? I cannot
This
remember
was
off the top.
6.
So yeah, we only got one more episode to go. So after that, I'll be able to judge it a little better. But I do think Andor is beating this series out as far as a better show right now overall. There's some really kick-ass moments, and HBO doing stuff. They really do a damn good job. Whenever they put shows together, it at least looks good. That kind of thing. A lot of times it's well acted and all that, and there's a decent story, and there is a decent story here. Like I said, there was just a couple things that's happened so far that I'm kind of like, man, I don't know about that. Whatever. But if they were to hit a home run this next episode, I think everything will be fine. Like if everybody, like if it's a good, exciting, interesting way to tell a story, and people really like what's going to happen this next episode, then I can see uh, it actually doing well.
Yeah. Yeah, and I didn't know that Dina. I recognized her from somewhere, but I was like, "Who is this girl?" And I looked her up. She's actually this little girl that was in the like fifth Transformers movie or something.
Oh,
And
nice.
then, yeah, she also played Dora the Explorer in that movie.
Dora the Explorer. Oh God.
Yeah.
But with that being said, man, what did you think about this episode? And give us some kind of grade there. Where are you at? What are you thinking about the series so far?
Yeah, I'd give this episode a 7. I do think it probably would have been better if they aired this before Joel died. Um, just for pacing and all that. But I'm excited to see where it ends. Is this show supposed to get to season 3?
And I'll be honest with you, like if they would have put this stuff in front, that doesn't really give away that Joel's going to die. Like if you didn't know.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It would have just been a flashback to her birthdays and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. You could have had her like something happen. Maybe she's like sleeping and dreaming or something. Whatever to do the flashback, and that's the reason or whatnot that she's having them. But yeah, it wouldn't really even give away the secret of them like killing Joel off in that next episode afterwards. So yeah, I can kind of see that going on. But you're at a 7. What do you think about the whole series? You still at like a average of about a 7, or you think it's like than that?
Yeah, it started out really strong, but there's been some conveniences and plot hole kind of kind of things. So yeah, I'd probably give it like a 6.5 to 7.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with like for this particular episode, I think it was really good. I only had one issue, and that was the part that we talked about with that psychiatrist and Ellie kind of being a douchebag by like, making her even feel worse just to get at Joel when she could have easily waited a little bit. So with that being said, I actually give this episode right here around an A minus. Now on the show the whole entire show so far, I'm at a B minus. So I rank this episode better than what I actually see the show as. I see it at a B minus, getting really close to a C area, which is still, like I said, a passing grade. It ain't failing yet. You know what I'm saying? It ain't hit that D level or even close to that yet. And like I said, they got one episode here. If this next episode turns out to be a banger, they do a really good job. Like I could see it actually going higher than that. I could see it getting back into that A range because
Yeah.
you watch a season or something of whatever. Not every episode is going to be the greatest episode in the world. So if you start strong and end strong, usually you can raise the grade that way.
Yep. And I mean, with what they pulled off with episode 2, like that was some awesome TV. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
that episode, I'm gonna go back. No matter
Yeah.
they could fall on their face in the next episode. It trashed, and I don't even care about the series almost no more. But even with that being said, like I'd sit down and watch that episode 2 over and over
Yeah.
again. I thought that was one of the best episodes of television. Definitely of this year so far, but maybe of the last couple of years. I thought that was done super well. I thought that was fun,
Yeah.
engaging, the things that went on, the drama, all that shit put together made a really fantastic episode.
Yep.
All right, guys, with that being said, let us know down in the comments how you think about the show so far. You can join the Discord. You can support us on Patreon, Ko-fi, whatever. You can just support us by hitting that like button and subscribing to the channel, man. And everything else. We reached that 1,000 milestone. We're just over that now at 1,032 or something around there. Maybe we can get that to a little bit of a higher instance of that. We got other stuff going on. We still got we're doing a rewatch of MCU. The next movie we'll be doing will be Thor, the first Thor. We've gotten through the first 3. This will be the 4th film of that series. Also got Angel and Buffy going on as far as that goes on the Rewatchers Council and everything else. And I'm pretty sure there's a show or 2 that we can jump on after this one right here is over with this after this coming up weekend. Any last words,
Yeah.
Matt?
No, I'm excited to see where the show goes. But is this show supposed to get a season 3?
Yeah, it's supposed to. It's
Oh,
supposed to
okay.
be
All right.
already like working on a season 3.
Okay, I didn't know that. All right, cool. Yeah, I'm excited.
Yep, I agree. Like there's a couple of things that can fix, but I think, like I said, if they finish strong, start strong, I'm cool with it. That'll be some good stuff.
Yeah.
But that being said, guys, till next time, peace.